Okay, hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Mary. I'm a B2B communications specialist here at Daytrip, and today I'm going to present the set jetting webinar to you. So the way that it will look today is first I will talk a little bit about our platform and who we are and what we do. Then I'm going to give a brief booking demonstration. Then I'm going to talk about some set jetting travel inspiration for you and your clients. And then lastly, we will have a small Q&A at the end. Just to go over some brief housekeeping rules, I request that you have yourselves muted throughout the presentation. You can type questions into the chat and I will address them at the end, as well as some Q&As that are already written there. This meeting will be recorded, so later on after the webinar ends, you will receive an email with the recording and you can watch it back or share it with your fellow travel agents. And the webinar will take approximately 25 to 30 minutes, give or take. So without further ado, let's get started. So just to give a brief overview, once again, of what we'll talk about today. So I will go over who Daytrip is and what we do. I will go over the trip booking process and then provide some set jetting inspiration. And then I will go through some FAQs. So first, what is Daytrip? So we are a private door-to-door car transportation company operating worldwide. We have the option to provide direct transfers or transfers with sightseeing stops. And what really makes us stand out at the cornerstone of our service is that we aim to turn a transfer into an experience by providing optional sightseeing stops along the way. So our service is convenient and door to door. We also provide airport pickups, port pickups, train station pickups, you name it, we can do it. We provide English speaking drivers who will provide anecdotes along the way. The average range of our trips are 30 to 500 kilometers. So we primarily focus on longer haul transfers. However, we do offer airport transfers in many select cities. And once again, there is the option to book a direct A to B transfer, or there is the option to add sightseeing stops along the way. And we pride ourselves on operating consistently and reliably all around the world, no matter what country you are using us in. So just to give you a brief overview of the driver vetting process. So we hand select every driver and they are personally interviewed before they can start cooperating with us. To give you a brief overview of the process that we go through, it starts with a one-on-one interview with a country manager. All applicants must undergo a background and car safety check. Then they are trained in the Daytrip customer service training so we can ensure that they meet our high standards. And then only after all of that is fulfilled, the drivers can start cooperating with us. To oversee this as we operate worldwide, we have 5 continental managers and 15 country managers. To give you a brief overview of the transportation types, we offer 4 primary vehicle categories: a sedan, MPV or SUV, van, or luxury sedan. Now, across all of these vehicle categories, we provide vetted English-speaking drivers, 24/7 customer support, climate control, so air conditioning in the summer or heat in the winter. And also, all drivers provide complimentary water. The only difference is in the capacity that each vehicle has. So a sedan can transport 1 to 3 passengers, an MPV or SUV can transport 4, a van can transport 5 to 7, and a luxury sedan 1 to 2. And each passenger is entitled to have 1 pair of luggage. So now I'm going to briefly show you the trip booking process. So bear with me one moment while I switch to the demonstration. Okay, here we are. So I am going to show you how to book a one-way trip from Naples Airport to Sorrento in Italy, which is one of our most popular destinations. So first and foremost, after navigating to our website, make sure that you are logged in. You'll know that you're logged in if you look at the upper right-hand corner here and you see your name. So for our trip that we will book from Naples Airport to Sorrento, we will start by entering the origin here, Naples Airport, and then the destination, which is Sorrento. We'll move on to select the departure date and time, so we can transport your clients 365 days a year, 24/7 hours a day. So let's say you're booking a trip for them in June. Let's put June 20th. And let's say that the flight gets in at about 10 a.m. For all airport pickups, we typically recommend a departure time of 30 to 45 minutes after the flight lands. So let's put 10:30 as a departure time. Next, we'll move on to adding the passengers. So here you can add adults, and right underneath, you can add children up to the age of 12. The reason why we ask you to include this information is because our partner drivers will provide a car seat for your clients completely free of charge. So let's say in this booking, there will be 2 adults and 1 child under 12. Here is some information about the luggage allowance, and here you can indicate if the clients will have extra sets of bags. So once everything in these details looks good, then you can click on search. So up here, as you can see, there is a progress bar that shows you where you are in the booking process. Here is the language that you see our website in, and here you can select the currency that is displayed. So in the first step of the booking process, you'll need to select the vehicle. For 3 passengers, it will automatically select a sedan, which is for 1 to 3 passengers. However, you can also select an MPV or a van if you would like them to have more space. So let's leave it for a sedan. We will click on continue. And in this next stage, you can add sightseeing stops along the way. So right here, you can see an overview of the most popular sightseeing stops on this route, and you can click to add them all. You can also generate a stop list without prices to share with your clients. Then they can read about the stops and pick the ones that they would like. As you scroll down here, you can see the various options that we have along this route, and you can click read more to read some information about them. There is also, usually at the end, there is some information about the ticketing requirements and how to get them. Right here on the left, there is a recommended duration, which you can adjust by clicking the plus and the minus button. And here is the price, which is updated as the duration is updated. So let's say you'd like to add a 2-hour stop at Herculaneum. We'll click on add, and then it will show you the approximate times that your clients will arrive and depart from there, which is useful to know when buying the tickets. So once everything looks good there, then you can click on continue. And then you'll reach the last stage of the booking process, which is the details and payment page. So up here you have your travel agent information, which is automatically filled out. Then you can enter the contact information of the lead passenger, including their name, surname, phone number, and email address. And if you provide the email address, then details about the upcoming trip will be sent to that email as well, so they are in the loop. Make sure to check off that the lead passenger is over 18 years old. And then because I put a child in this booking, you will have to select the child seat. So here you can click to see the different seat types, as well as the ages and the weight limits. So let's say that there will be a 3-year-old child on this trip. We will click on forward facing with harness, and then you'll have that there. In this next field, you can indicate any special requirements that the clients may have. For example, if they will be traveling with a service dog, if they'll be transporting skis or other oversized luggage, you can simply write it here and click submit, and then our support team will be aware of it and share it with the driver. Here you can add the pickup and drop off addresses. So in this case, it would be from the Naples airport. And if you don't have the drop-off address or flight number at this time, no problem. It can be added through your profile up to 24 hours before departure. There's one last prompt to upgrade the ride to a bigger vehicle, and then the very last step is the payment method. So at this time, we offer the option to pay by credit or debit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay, or the clients can pay in cash the day of the trip. Selecting the cash option is also a great way to sort of book now, but pay later. So you can select cash and book the trip now, and then shortly before the trip, you can log into your account and pay for it in full from your profile. So that is the end of the booking demonstration, and now I will just give you a brief tour of your profile. So I'll go back to the home page, click your name in the upper right-hand corner, and here you can see the various options that you can navigate to, including your trips, your profile, our help center, your commission, or you can log out. So let's go to the profile. Over here on the left, you can see your personal information as well as information on how to reach our 24/7 customer support. You can also opt into our newsletters, reset your password, or change your phone number. Here in the middle, you have some information about your specific commercial conditions and the available payment methods. And over here on the right, you have some interesting stats about where your clients have traveled with us, including the amount of rides, amount of passengers, and countries that they have visited. If you scroll down, you can also find some frequently asked questions, which address many questions. But if you still have some, we also have a dedicated help center where you can find more in-depth articles. And also there is this chat box in the lower right-hand corner where you can talk to our 24/7 customer support and they can address any questions that you may have. You can also see countries where we operate here. So that is the end of the demo and tour around your profile on our website. I will now switch back to the presentation. One moment. Okay, so for the next part of the presentation, I am going to go over some set jetting inspiration. So for those of you who have not heard about set jetting before, it is essentially dedicating travel to the sites of famous TV shows, movies, or video games, going to either the filming locations or places that they were inspired by. So I have a couple of sample itineraries and blog posts that I am going to show you. So the first one is going to be the White Lotus in Sicily. So for those of you who have watched Lotus or who have clients who have watched White Lotus, I'm sure we were all captivated by season 2's beauty and history that we saw throughout the scenes in the drama. And we have created a blog post dedicated to a White Lotus itinerary in Sicily. So just to give you an example of an itinerary that you could create by using our platform, you could book a trip for your clients from Taormina to Palermo, and you can book sightseeing stops for them at Mount Etna, which was frequently pictured in the backdrop of many episodes, or the authentic history-filled town of Messina, or you can add both of them. Once your clients are in Palermo, they can take a day trip to Cefalù and Agrigento, to authentic, beautiful, history-filled Sicilian towns. And then you can have a return trip from Palermo to Taormina with these 2 stops as well. So with the newest product releases of day trips and return trips, you can book this itinerary very seamlessly. You can also find more inspiration on our blog. So the next itinerary is going to be the White Lotus in Thailand with the season 3 just finishing. Many travelers are flocking to Thailand, and we have also created a blog post showcasing different itineraries that your clients can take from Bangkok and Phuket. So the first one is a day trip from Bangkok. So day trips are essentially where your clients are picked up at their accommodation, and then they are taken to select sightseeing stops, and then they are returned to their accommodation in the same day. So for this particular White Lotus inspired day trip, it will have a stop at the Wat Khao Tabek Monastery, and then a stop at in the town of Rayong, where your clients can visit beaches, shops, and markets. This will allow them to uncover the local culture and also experience an authentic Buddhist monastery. Then on the next day, if your clients want to go to Phuket, probably by flight, since it's quite far from Bangkok, we have a variety of day trip options from Phuket as well that are day trip inspired, excuse me. So there is a day trip from Phuket with stops at Yanoi Beach, Kamala Beach, and Patong. So Yanoi Beach, for those of you who remember the first episode where the arrivals to the resort happened, that happened on that beach. Then Kamala Beach is where the trio of women had a party. And then Patong is famous for its vibrant nightlife and street markets and was also the site of that infamous Muay Thai boxing match. Then, if you would like to bring your clients to where most of season 3 was filmed on Koh Samui, we offer transfers from Phuket to Don Sak, which is a port town. And from there, they can get a ferry to Koh Samui, which will take a couple of hours. So this is just a sample itinerary. You can also see in the pictures here a visualization of how those would look. And there is more inspiration, and these itineraries are explained more in depth on our blog post. The next itinerary is going to be dedicated to Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is a video game that takes place in and is inspired by Czechia. So there are so many reasons to visit the Czech Republic already for its beautiful medieval inspired towns and capital that is chock full of history and things to do. But for a Kingdom Come specialized experience, we have prepared a blog post and several itineraries. So as an example, your clients can take a day trip from Prague to Kutna Hora, the town with the church that has skulls in it. And they can also go to Český Sternberg and then come back to Prague. For the second and third day, they can go on a return trip from Prague to the Sázava town, which has many beautiful sites and churches and ruins that inspired this game directly. Here in our blog post, there is some more inspiration. So the last part of the set jetting is going to be going over filming locations in the UK. So there are so many of them, but we are going to be covering just a few in today's webinar. And once again, we have a blog post dedicated to this, where you can read more about these filming locations. So your clients can travel with us from Belfast to Derry, and they can see a variety of places, including Belfast from the Titanic, the Dark Hedges from Game of Thrones, Giant's Causeway from Hellboy, and Derry from Derry Girls. And all along the way, they will have a private English-speaking driver giving them anecdotes about the places that they are driving to. The next itinerary is from Edinburgh to Inverness, and here there are a variety of options to see some filming locations along the way, such as Glasgow from The Batman, Inverness from Macbeth. There are so many possibilities on this route. The next itinerary is from London to Bath. Of course, London is featured in many shows and movies, and also it is a beautiful city in its own right. Your clients can visit the Warner Brothers Studios, Levston from Harry Potter and Star Wars, Highclere Castle from Downton Abbey, and Bath from the iconic Bridgerton series as well. So when you book with Day Trip, we can get your clients to all of these locations and more. So that is it for the set jetting portion. I hope that it offered you some nice inspiration, and you can check out our blog for these itineraries that are explored more in depth. Now we're at the last part of the presentation, which is the Q&A section. So I will open the chat and I will just read out the questions. Okay, so from Amanda, we have, hi, I just made my first 2 bookings for day trip yesterday. I have a client that needs a driver for 4 days. Do you have the ability to provide a multi-day booking opportunity if an itinerary is provided? I would like to get a single driver assigned to my client for their stay. So we have actually just released the option of booking multi-city trips. So for example, you can book a trip from Naples to Positano, Positano back to Naples. If your client then flies from Naples to Paris, then we have the option to then book trip. You have the option to book trips for them in France and basically book all of them in the same booking process. Depending on where the trips are, we can't 100% guarantee that the same driver will be assigned. However, you can leave a note in the booking request, and our support will try their very best to make it happen and also stay in touch with you about it. Susan says, we have our first booking with Daytrip for transportation. We are excited for our group to experience your services. Okay, that is great. We are very excited to have you. Okay, and then Rick says, we had 2 couples traveling throughout Scotland and England in late March through early April. Daytrip did a wonderful job with their travel requirements. Thank you so much for your kind words. I'm very happy to hear that. Bonnie asks, how many bags do the vans hold? So a van can accommodate up to 7 passengers and 7 pairs of luggage, which is 14 pieces total. So basically, it would be 7 checked bags and 7 carry-on bags that would be allowed, as well as like purses and backpacks and small personal items like that. So a van can accommodate quite a lot of luggage. However, if your clients will have more, then please leave a note about it, and our support will get in touch in case an upgrade to an extra vehicle would be recommended. Suzanne asks, how do you book personalized itineraries? So on our homepage, we have a custom route form where you can completely customize your trip. So there you can enter the origin and destination and also enter a customized sightseeing stop. For example, if you have a sightseeing stop in mind that is not listed along your desired route. So that is found on our homepage when you go to the origin button and it says request a custom route. Bonnie says, I have already booked many day trips for my group of 14 in August. Luggage may be a problem since they will be gone for 2 weeks. Yeah, so with the van's luggage capacity, although it's 14 pieces, which is quite a lot, if you do have any concerns about it, and if you're not sure that it will fit, you can leave a note about it and also message our customer support anytime. You can even attach pictures there, and if they think that there should be an extra vehicle or if it will be a problem, then of course we will try to figure it out. What Amy says, what's the maximum number I can book? Do you do shore excursions? Amy, do you mean the maximum number of passengers? Or do you mean the maximum number of trips? Susan says, if we are taking a group to a specific area, does Daytrip put together an itinerary that we could go with if we are unfamiliar with what to put in it? So we wouldn't necessarily put the itinerary together for you. We do have a lot of travel inspiration on our website, such as the sightseeing stops and our blog, which has a lot of recommendations. However, it would ultimately be up to you and your clients where you would like to go. Of course, if you have any questions, then you can reach out to us or your driver once he or she is assigned, and they would also be happy to provide you with recommendations. Okay, so for the maximum number of passengers you can book, I don't believe there actually is a maximum amount. However, our biggest vehicle category can accommodate up to 7 passengers and 7 pairs of luggage. So say if you will be booking for like 30 passengers, then it would put multiple vehicles in the booking. So for example, 4 vans and a sedan. Okay, so it appears that these are all of the questions for now, and now I will move on to the Q&A that is written on this page. So the first question is, do all bookings require full payment at the time of booking? And the answer is no. For one-way trips, we also have the cash option, which can either be used as an option to book now and pay later, or your clients can pay in cash the day of the trips. I apologize. I seem to have missed the second part of one of the questions. Do you do shore excursions? Yes, we can provide transportation to shores or also sightseeing stops at different beaches or shores. If you have an itinerary in mind that you don't see on our website, you can use that custom route form to request it, and we'll provide you with a personalized quote. The second question is, what kinds of trips do you offer? So we offer one-way trips, return trips, day trips, and round trips. And most recently, we have launched the option to book multi-city trips. So as I said, for example, you can add like 5 or 6 trips into a single booking process and just pay for them all at once. We are super excited to have released this as it is something that many of you wanted and it is very convenient. The third question is, can I book a same-day round trip? The answer is yes, you can do so through our custom route form. The fourth question is, can I request a specific driver? Yes, you can. You can just enter that in the special requests field in the booking process, or you can contact our 24/7 customer support and they will try their very best to assign this driver. We can't 100% guarantee it because our drivers work on their own schedules, but we would try our very best. Question number 5 is, what if I cannot find a route or desired stop? So in that case, you would use our custom route form from our homepage, and then you will receive a personalized quote within 24 hours or be redirected to an existing page on our website. Question number 5, can I change my booking? Of course, sometimes things happen and life gets in the way or there is a delay. And we try to be as flexible as possible when it comes to this. So you can make changes to the booking guaranteed up to 36 hours before departure. There are also many changes that you can make yourself through your profile, such as the departure date, time, pickup, and drop-off addresses. For changes under 36 hours before departure, we'll try our very best to accommodate them. Just contact our customer support. Okay, the next question. Do drivers give local travel information as they are driving or during a stop? Yes, they do. They will provide anecdotes and recommendations along the way. Their clients are also free to stop for a brief lunch break or restroom break at any time. They can just ask the driver. While they're not formal tour guides per se, they do provide these anecdotes and recommendations. The last question is, what about last minute bookings? So we can guarantee all new bookings requested at least 36 hours before departure. For bookings requested under 36 hours, although we cannot guarantee them, we would try our very best to find a driver for your clients. You would go through the booking process in the same way as for normal trips. However, you would receive progress on our search for a driver every step of the way. And I see one more question from Amy. Can you accept multiple payments of credit cards? Yes, this is possible. However, you would have to select cash as the payment method and then contact our support so they can make special payment links. So that is it for the Q&A. If anyone else has any last questions, I'll just give you a few moments to type those in the chat. Otherwise, we will wrap up. All right, so that seems to be all of the questions that you had. So we'll move on. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this served as some travel inspiration for you. This whole webinar was recorded, so you can rewatch it and share it with your fellow travel agents. Additionally, there will be a copy of the presentation, so if you would like to read more about these set jetting itineraries, you can do so. So once again, thank you so much for joining me today. You can contact our 24/7 customer support or me personally at any time if you have any questions or need any assistance. You can also keep up with us on our various social media on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So once again, thank you very much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.